Hey there, guys, it's Marilyn. I want to say thank you so much for those of you that joined in with us for our first segment of our singles relational coaching sessions. It's going to be an amazing time. We're talking about bouncing back in life. And y'all, we talked about reasons to start all over again. Oh my God. The first thing we talked about was starting over is not the same thing as recouping from a failure. You don't want to look at, your start over as like, I failed at this, and you got that image in the back of your mind and thinking that, that it was just a loss. No, it's not a loss. You learned a lot of things from it. So we're going to pull all those bags together, and we're going to come in and create a wonderful environment with that. The next thing we talked about was moving through life is like climbing stairs. Look, sometimes you're going to have to learn how to take one step at a time. You can't run up the stairs. You got to remember, look, you may be 30, 40 years old now, and you're not as young as you used to be. So you got to climb those stairs a little bit at a time. See, if you're anything like me, I got to breathe in between. I can't move like I used to move. So just look at it is that we're climbing stairs. We're taking little bitty steps. We're celebrating also, our successes. And I want you to do that every time. The next thing is remember, this new year, this new fresh beginning, it's like a new decade that's starting as well. You are going to set the rhythm to this fresh start within your life. So be very mindful of it. The next one we talked about was endings are not always bad things. It depends on the way you look at it, your perception about it. If you thinking that, nothing good is going to happen in my life again. I spent 10 years with that person. I spent 5 years. I gave them 1 year of my time, and, it didn't pan out the way I wanted to. And, you're finding all the reasons why you should not do this again. Yeah, it's going to look like it was kind of bad. But ending a thing is not always the worst thing that could happen, because I just don't believe that anything just happens. I think that we catch a rhythm, maybe we just didn't pick up on the early red flags of things, and we had to pick it up a little bit later, or it may have just been a bad time, because listen, there are individuals that are out there taking care of parents right now, and whereas they thought they may have been ready for a relationship, they don't have the mental capacity, they don't have the mental bandwidth for that. So you have to stop taking everything so personal and look at it like that. Another thing we talked about, remember that your future, it's not governed by your past or anything like that. And then the last thing was starting over. It may sound scary, but listen, it's going to be worth the try. And I think if you get your mind in that gear to say, you know what, this time it's going to be worth it all. So guess what? Next week we go into session 2, and we're going to talk about intentional dating. When was the last time that you thought about dating being intentional? Instead of you going out there to say, well, who's looking at you, or they spoke to you, or they said hi to you, whatever. Look, you got to get past that. You already know you're beautiful. You already know you're handsome. You already know you got it going on. You already know you got the skill set for it. Get past that and start thinking about intentionally going into relationships and making sure that you make your election sure. So next week, I want you to join me back again. Don't be late. Listen, we've changed up the whole flow of what we're doing, so you do not want to be late. We start up at 7:30. So if I were you, I'd try to come on in there about 7:15, kind of get me, maybe some tea in the evening, or maybe get me just maybe a small book or something, just to kind of get my mind ready, because you got to get ready for these particular things. And especially if you just got through DMing somebody and that conversation wasn't going well. You know how people pop up at times that right when you get ready to do something important, they're popping in and they bringing trash and garbage in. You got to get your mind ready for that. So next week, we're going to come in and talk about intentional dating. And the first thing we're going to do is talk about what happened that ended that last relationship. What could be some of the things that cause relationships to end? Next thing is we got to go in and talk about emotional healing. What are the steps, and what are some of the things that we need to do to enter into, or even to recognize when emotionally I'm not on track. I'm not on target where I need to be. And what are some of the places that I can go? And what are some of the steps that I can take? Do I need a relational coach? Or what is it that my budget can afford at this particular time? Next thing we're going to talk about is setting boundaries. That's going to be a part of that intentional day. You got to set some boundaries up in front of you to make sure that, we're not having no mistakes about what we're doing and where we're going. We're intentional. I live a Christian life, and I want to be with individuals that live a Christian life as well. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to recognize patterns in life. We're not flying by the seat of our pants. Life leaves nuggets. It leaves cues behind that will kind of help you to recognize that you don't have to start all the way back over again. You just sometimes need to pay attention to the patterns of things that you are doing, and sometimes just make the slight adjustment. Sometimes we just need to throw that pattern away, and we need to make a whole new thing because it's scraped up and scarred up and all of that. And we got to renew our mind. The next thing we're going to talk about is learn to recognize qualities in life. Find out what fits you very well. What makes your baby leap on the inside? Oh yeah, it's going to be good. And then the last thing is we're going to create what we call a dating manifesto. I know that may be a new one for you, but a dating manifesto has a lot to do with a vision plan. Writing out your goals for dating in this new chapter in life, this new season in life. Do not miss Bounce Back for Singles. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. Come on in, join us, be ready. Hey, even you can make sure to go to our Facebook page, Singles Let's Talk, join in the conversation, fellowship, and invite others to join in with us. So I look forward to joining you guys back again on next week. And thank you once again for joining us on tonight for Black Love for Singles. I'll see you guys later.